Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Lisa Marie's Revelations. This is going over chapter 2 of her book, From Here to the Great Unknown. I'm a little chilly tonight. The weather has gotten pretty cold around here, so I thought I'd wear my jacket. So forgive me, but I'm a little bird, a little cold. Anyway, this chapter is chapter 2, and it's entitled He's Gone. This is going to have a lot of things in it, a lot of revelations. So you guys have to pay attention because I'm not reading the book word for word. I'm just going to give you guys the tidbits of what's in the book, okay? And then in the comment section below, we're going to talk about it, okay, guys? All right. This is how the chapter 2, He's Gone, in her book begins. I was always worried about my dad dying. She said sometimes I'd see him and he was out of it. I would find him passed out. She said she was with a friend in her room when he came to her bedroom door. He started to fall. He was moving far to the right and started to lean, and she yelled, "Go get him!" Lisa and her friend managed to get underneath him and hold him until he grabbed hold of something to regain his composure. Then he just went back to his room. And she said it happened a lot toward the end. She said, excuse me, "Daddy, please don't go anywhere. Please don't die." He said, "I'm not going anywhere." Then he smiled at Lisa. Lisa knew something tragic was coming, according to her book. She said that Elvis was a wild card, very wild man. He would do stunts around Graceland and on sleds and stuff, and it would make Lisa think, "What are you doing, Daddy?" Because he was just always wanting to do something dangerous, and he would have fun doing it. And even though as much as the danger was, even if he did get hurt, he would still be the first up laughing about the whole situation. She said there was a friend, her name was Laura, and she was her age. And Laura and Lisa would viciously fight one another. Lisa and her would be fighting in Lisa's room because Lisa wanted a Barbie doll case and Laura wouldn't give it to her. No matter what, Laura wouldn't give her the case. So here is 9-year-old Lisa telling her what to do. "Give me that goddamn Barbie case," I said. "No," Laura said. "But I can't get it. Nowhere has it. You better give it to me," I said. There was a statue in Lisa's room, and Lisa picked it up over her head, and Laura started screaming, "No!" I guess Lisa was about to hit Laura over the head with this said statue. But she looked, and she saw her dad standing right there. She quickly put the statue down, and she tried to act like she was just playing. And Elvis said, "What are you doing?" And Lisa said, "Nothing, just playing." And Elvis said, "Don't kill your best friend. Words of wisdom." And he walked away. Lisa said when she was about 8 or 9, she had a crush on one of Laura's brothers called Rory. She was painfully in love with this boy for years. Roy was like 5'11", dark hair, and really cute. And she said he had a great personality, and he had these green eyes and amazing smile. He would always end up going with other girls, and she was so young, it truly didn't matter at this point. But Roy did kiss her maybe once or twice when they were playing hide and go seek. She said when she was around 6 or 7, she was at Graceland for the summer, and her mom's mom picked her up and flew her to New Jersey. She says this about her mom's mom, which is Prissy's mom. I never had a connection to my grandmother. I had spent the summer with my father where there had been no rules, and I needed to be debraticized. Debraticized. What a word, right? This is something Prissy made up, I'm sure of it. Lisa said she wasn't having it. She wasn't going to be debraticized. My mom's parents were very much of the mindset that I was nothing special, that I wouldn't be treated as anything special. The change was so confusing that I would often scream my head off. I remember screaming so loud for a good hour that my mom's younger brothers were all laughing at me. Lisa's mom had her grandmother's chilly disposition, which she got from her mother and my great-grandmother, according to Lisa. She said that she had this little Cameo, a compact, a perfume thing that she loved. One day she couldn't find it and was so upset crying, and everyone was trying to help her find it. Then she was in the car with her said grandmother, Prissy's mom, and she looked down in her grandmother's purse, and there it was. Lisa said, "What's that?" She said, "You didn't see anything. It's nothing," and moved her purse away. I thought, oh my God, that bitch stole it from me. Looking back, there was really only one thing that I was sure of, that I was loved by my dad. I mean, for her grandparents that survived on Prissy's side to tell her she was nothing, she was no one special, and to steal from Lisa. What the what? Wow. Another revelation is Lisa's 9th birthday party. She had her birthday party on her father's plane, the Lisa Marie. Her dad was back in the bedroom, and he came out to join everybody standing around singing happy birthday. Charlie Hodge came over to Lisa and emptied his pockets on the table, and he told her, "Take whatever you want." Of course, he didn't have a present, so Lisa was grabbing all the money she could get off the table. She points this out about Ginger. At one point, her dad was dating Ginger. He had a bunch of different girlfriends, and I liked most of them. She said there was Sheila Kane, Linda Thompson, who she loved, and she could tell that Linda really cared about her and her dad. When they broke up, he didn't tell Lisa. So one day she ran up to give his girlfriend a hug, thinking it was Linda, but the girlfriend turned around and it happened to be Ginger. She didn't mind Ginger, but she says, "I didn't like her. Nobody did." Wow, that was a revelation, guys. Ginger was always very sweet to Lisa, which was an obvious move, she says, unless you're an idiot. Yeah, if you're dating a father with a child, get along with that child, because if you don't, you're not going to get accepted very well into the family. I know that one. So Lisa said you would be an idiot not to be on Lisa's side. But she didn't like that she would upset him. Lisa said she used to eavesdrop on Elvis's phone calls with Ginger. She would make him upset a lot. She wasn't there for him, according to Lisa. I could tell she didn't love him at all. Ooh. I remember him asking me, "Have you seen Ginger?" one day. "Is she around? Where is she?" "I don't know where she is," Lisa told Elvis. She was driving him crazy, playing him hard, and she was never there when he needed her. She would be there for 1 minute for him, and then she'd be gone the next. And that's according to Lisa, folks. Lisa says that her dad was once again getting ready to go on tour. He was leaving the next day, and Lisa was having to go back to California to start school. Lisa was really depressed about leaving. She didn't want to go. Elvis had built a giant racquetball center, and Lisa and her friends were out in there hanging out really late in the evening. It was really late, she says. It was well after midnight. So she's 9 years old and stays up way after midnight. She was coming in through the back door of Graceland just as her dad was coming out, and she ran right into Elvis. And he said, "Go to bed." And I said, "Okay." And I gave him a hug and a kiss. And we both said, "I love you." And then Lisa headed upstairs and she went to sleep. Lisa woke in a jolt in the early afternoon because she sensed panic. She thought, something's not right. It felt like a different type of energy. She found Joe Esposito and said, "What's happening with my dad? Where is he?" "Your daddy's sick," Joe said to her, Lisa. "What does that mean?" Lisa said. She started to run into his bathroom. She ran across the bathroom, and there he was. Just as Lisa was getting her eyes set on her dad on the ground, she tried to run to him, but somebody grabbed her and pulled her back. They were standing over him, moving him around and trying to work on him. Lisa was screaming bloody murder. She knew it wasn't good. And then they took her out of the room. There were so many times that Lisa found him down on the floor and unable to control his body very well. Lisa says it was the barbiturates. They held Lisa and took her downstairs. A stretcher went upstairs. They brought the stretcher down the steps right past Lisa. Lisa didn't see his face, but she saw his head. She saw his body. She saw his pajamas, and she saw his socks at the bottom of the gurney. Someone tried to pull Lisa back, and they had to keep working on him. It was lightning quick, according to Lisa. He wasn't pronounced dead yet. They took him out, and Lisa started screaming again that she wanted him, that she needed him, and that she started kicking and punching whatever was holding her back, trying to get away from them, but they wouldn't let Lisa go. The front door shut. She said if I had gotten to him, I would have seen his face, which was distorted, and that would have traumatized me even more. Poor baby. Then we just had to wait, said Lisa. Over and over, she said. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? Someone told her, we're just waiting for the hospital to call and tell us. So she said she grabbed her friend Amber, who was Ginger's niece, and they went to her room. And the first thing Lisa did when she got into her room was light a cigarette while they were waiting. And she was spraying Windex in the air, hopefully so nobody would smell the cigarette smoke. But she says this. Lisa says she remembers Ginger had somehow had enough time to do her hair and to do her makeup. She was dressed to the nines. So you guys, I've heard things about this for years. I've heard that she was all done up, and I heard she had she just looked great. So you tell me, guys, Was Ginger all dolled up like Lisa said? Did Ginger do all her makeup and was dressed to the nines like Lisa said? Or is this just a made up untruth that Ginger has been saying that had occurred? You guys tell me. I believe Lisa out of all of them. I believe the girl that wrote this book. She would know more than anybody. She was there too. And I know there's a lot of adults that was in her life that did things and she saw it and she held all this stuff in until she wrote this book to us, which is her love story to us. Whether it breaks our heart or not, it really is a love story. The love story of what she had for her father and how it carried out throughout her life, and the love story she carried out of her love for her father and put it on to her children. That's what I think. But I digress. She said that about an hour she heard her grandfather wailing, wailing, that noise. I'll never get past the sound of him wailing. She said, I could hear, oh, he's gone, he's gone. Everybody was in the room. My grandfather, Ginger, Aunt Delta, my great-grandmother, Minnie Mae. She said everyone. Lisa walks down. She says, who's gone? Your daddy's gone. He's gone. My son is gone, her grandfather said. Lisa said she was infuriated. She turned bright red and turned around and she started to run. She started to run out the door. Ginger tried to grab the back of her shirt to hold her, but she just wanted to run. Yep. Lisa said she didn't remember what she did after that. Lisa just didn't know what to do. Anger, extreme anger was Lisa's first response. The grief came later. Lisa says she was angry at the universe. Why? Why could this happen? So she went out on her golf cart towards one of the trailers in the back. They were watching the news, and then it hit her. It hit her hard that her father was gone. Lisa said life as she knew it was completely over. It was her greatest childhood fear. She said it's effing terror, and it tortures you. Whenever I told my dad I was scared he was going to die, he'd say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. But he did. One of the worries that she had that day was in her thoughts, her dad is gone. Am I ever going to be able to come back to Memphis? That afternoon, once they took her father away, there is something, she says, that she has been upset about her whole life. It turned into a free-for-all. Everybody went to town. Everything was wiped clean. Jewelry, artifacts, personal items. Before he was even pronounced dead, Lisa said. You can still find things from that day coming up at auction. She's kept up with it all these years. And I don't think it was just Aunt Delta's backdoor sales. I think there was a few other people there that was swiping, if you know what I mean. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section below. I think it was others as well. Lisa said she could hear her mother was coming for her. She said it was the worst. Graceland was Lisa's place with her dad, and she didn't want her there. She didn't want her mother there. She thought that her mother was going to wreck the whole vibe of Graceland. Not only was her mother coming to take Lisa home to LA, which she didn't like, she was also coming to attend the funeral. Then Lisa had another thought about not being able to come back to Graceland anymore. She thought to herself, my grandfather was still alive, so I would have an excuse to come. But would she let me? Lisa's mother, Priscilla, finally showed up, and Lisa was on the golf cart with her friends. She remembers seeing her mother in the doorway of the front steps of Graceland calling Lisa's name, trying to wave her down. Lisa said, "I just wave back and keep going." And Priscilla yelled at Lisa, "How can you be on your golf cart right now?" I wouldn't give any attention to her, though. Lisa said I was too upset. Lisa didn't understand at all why she got yelled at by her mother, but later on she said I can understand that she was probably thinking about the fans on the street and what if they see me? What if they see me not grieving? Being on my golf cart's not really grieving, is it? So she didn't want people to think of what they would be thinking of seeing Lisa on the golf cart instead of being sad. It's always about what people think with Prissy. It's always about what people think. It's never about what they really feel. But okay. Lisa said the viewing was scheduled to be a public event. She said her dad was brought to the house in the coffin. They kept him in the living room. Lisa felt so happy because he was there. She said she felt lucky. Lisa sat on the steps that go upstairs with a couple of her friends and watched the endless seas of people going through the line and fainting and screaming and crying and grieving so hard. Lisa didn't know if anybody saw her. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they were too busy looking at Elvis to even, where or care where Lisa was. She said for countless hours she sat and she watched all these people pass by, grieving, yelling, wailing, you name it. She said there was ambulances outside the house taking people away every hour from fainting. Lisa said you couldn't even see the streets anymore. There were so many people. Lisa said she was so busy looking at everyone else's grief that she couldn't actually grieve herself at this point. She was trying to grieve, but it was too public. It was too public. Lisa understood he was Elvis Presley. She also understood his persona, and that being Elvis was what he loved doing the most. Lisa kept watching other people grieve her father, which made her not grieve in public. She just couldn't. She remembers when the viewing went on, but there was just so much drama, and she held it all in. She also would think later on, wow, look at that person. They're totally losing their shit. Then Lisa would grieve in her room where no one could see her, or at night before she went to sleep. So she couldn't grieve in public, guys. This is when she realized she's got to be alone. She couldn't do it in front of all those people, in front of her mother. She couldn't do it in front of anybody. It had to be something on her own time to do. So she just didn't know what to do with her grief. She went down to where he was laying in his casket. She went down just to be with him, and it was her by herself. She touched his face, and she held his hand, and she talked to him and asked him, "Why is this happening? Why are you doing this?" So sad. I'm sure if he could answer, he wouldn't have been able to. He's dead, but she was probably just trying and waiting for an answer. Like, why are you gone? Why did you go? Poor girl. Lisa knew that soon he wasn't going to be there anymore. She don't remember much after that. She was 9 years old. She said it was all so beyond me. She said it'll hit her still. On and off it comes. There have been nights as an adult when she would just be drunk and listen to his music and sit there and cry. the grief still comes, she says. It's still just there. After Lisa's dad died, her world totally changed. Lisa stayed in touch with Patsy and one or two people from the Memphis Mafia like Jerry Schilling. The rest kind of faded away. I do know she was mad at some of the Memphis Mafia, so that could be why some of them just faded away. Lisa said that Priscilla stayed in Memphis until everything was finalized. And in October, her dad was moved from Forest Hill Cemetery to the backyard of Graceland next to his mother. That was the first time Lisa really felt the loss. She said, I felt I was stuck with this woman. It was a 1-2 punch. He's dead, and now I'm stuck with her. And can you believe that? She didn't want to be with her mom at all. She was stuck with her. She said, my mom took me to Europe with her sister, Michelle, then Rome, France, and London. Priscilla tried to keep Lisa busy. One night, while they were in France, Lisa told her mom that she was the reincarnated Marie Antoinette and that she must go to Versailles immediately. So Priscilla took Lisa there. And Lisa was walking around saying, yeah, I recognize this. I recognize that. Oh, I remember that. She was probably just messing with Priscilla. What's funny, though, is Priscilla actually believed her. She said before Europe, though, they sent her off for 6 weeks to Rancho Oso. It was a summer camp in the mountains north of Santa Barbara. And I told you guys a while back, it's pretty messed up when your father dies, and instead of helping you grieve and dealing and helping with you and helping you grieve being a mother, she sends her off to summer camp for 6 weeks for someone else to deal with her and her grief. Who does that? Tell me. Who, as a mother, will send your child away when they're grieving their father? He just died. And she sends her away to summer camp. She just didn't want to deal with her. Anyway, she said at camp there was a horse, and she loved that horse, and she rode it a lot, and it was healing for her. She'd go swimming in the pool, and she'd have fun with the kids. But then, instantly, she wouldn't feel right. She said that she would get distracted for a minute and then go, oh my God, my dad died. She said once she was lying in the sun and the Elvis song came on the radio, and she just lay there crying for an hour. Lisa needed a mother. Where was she? He said after camp, her mom wanted her in a good school, so she put her in a ritzy one in Los Angeles. Everyone had a famous father or mother there, but Lisa wasn't into that at all. Then her mother got a French boyfriend and became obsessed with being French. So she put her in a French school and made her do French lessons. Lisa said, I wanted my other life back. Lisa also said, I also wanted to go to Memphis. I wanted to make sure I could go to Memphis. And that's what she used sometimes to threaten me. You're not going to be able to go to Memphis if you don't blah, blah, blah. But Lisa said, I would do whatever I needed to. She knew it meant everything to me. And she kept her watch on Memphis time. Lisa said that Priscilla would allow her to go every Christmas, Easter, and summertime. She would stay with Patsy, who was like a mother figure to her. It meant so much of her. It meant so much to Lisa to be a part of Patsy's family. Every Sunday, she said they would have cleaning day at Patsy's. They'd watch movies, eat biscuits and gravy, biscuits and sausage, drink giant bottles of Pepsi, and go to the video store. Or they would go to Graceland for the night. She said Aunt Delta still lived for several years after her dad died. She said she would go sleep over there while she was still alive. Lisa said, I'd stay in the room right off of it. Upstairs was locked. So when Lisa was a kid, upstairs was locked even to her. She could stay at the room that was adjoined to Aunt Delta's, but it said the upstairs was locked to her. She couldn't go up there. She had to come back down. She said that she thought there were a lot of conversations going on about what to do with the upstairs and keep it preserved. She also said Vernon and her mother decided I wasn't allowed back into my room. Lisa's grandfather, Vernon, died in 1979. Then a year later, her great-grandmother died. Lisa remembers a car pulling up at the school both times. It became a thing that a car would just randomly show up. I got used to it. I started to think, there's the car. Who died now, she said. Who is it now? She also says again that she had no real connection with her grandfather, Vernon, whatsoever. She said, I remember my friend and I messing with my grandfather's face in his coffin when we were in there alone. That's not something I want to say lightly, because I know it's truly horrific. I became numb to everything. Another funeral, another loss. Enough trauma had happened, and it wasn't even affecting her anymore. Everyone was kind of expecting Lisa to be upset, to feel grief, to do something, but nothing was fazing her. There was just so much trauma. Wow, she was messing with her grandfather's face in the coffin. And she said she had no connection with her grandfather. Wow. Lisa's grandfather, Vernon, had known that Lisa had a crush on Rory. After Vernon died, Lisa found out that the Millers were moving to Colorado. Lisa was surprised to meet and hang out with Rory before they left. In fact, she arranged to spend the whole day with him. Patsy knew it, and at last minute, I got a phone call. Your mom wants you to fly home to LA today. Patsy had told Lisa's mom, and Lisa's mom was not having it. Lisa was devastated. Rory took her to the airport, though. That was the first time Lisa remembered having actual, real, specific hatred toward her mother. I repeat, that was the first time Lisa remembered having actual, real, specific hatred toward her mother. She saw Rory again when she was on tour many, many years later. She had dinner with him and his wife and Patsy. Rory told Lisa, your father pulled me aside and told me you better not do anything or I'll effing kill you. Rory also said he promised her dad he would never do anything with Lisa romantically, and he promised that he would never ever tell her about the conversation. But Rory said, but I think I can probably say it safely now. Lisa says her mother sent her away a lot, but Lisa will say that she was really good at birthdays. One year, Lisa remembers going to see Queen. Lisa heard that Freddie Mercury was a huge fan of Elvis, so she brought him one of her father's scarves. She went backstage and met Freddie, who was very sweet, very humble, and moved by the gift. When Lisa turned 10 years old, her mother met John Travolta and arranged for them to meet for her birthday. John Travolta talked to her about Scientology, and a few days later, she joined. Look at that. She was in the car, and Priscilla was describing Scientology to Lisa, saying that it can help you become real powerful. And Lisa was always obsessed with Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. I wanted to have superpowers. You know, Lisa could have just, or Priscilla could have just took Lisa into the nearest church, real church, Christian church that she could have found. And in the name of Jesus, the superpowers would have been more better than what this is. Hey, I'm just saying, guys. Priscilla put her daughter in a cult when her daughter needed real counseling. And Scientology doesn't agree with science. Scientology doesn't agree with counseling. It's complete opposite. That's not what Lisa needed. So I will blame Priscilla until the day she dies, what she did to her daughter, putting her in a cult. Granted, Lisa's going to say this, Lisa's going to say that in the book to come. But I'm just letting you guys know, my opinion is, if Priscilla would have took her to a Christian church, they would have helped her and better helped her understand her father as being a Christian as well. But she gave her the complete opposite direction. But I digress. Okay, Lisa thought, that's really cool. I want to do that. So now they're members of the Church of Scientology. Lisa said that her mom would drop her off after school at the building in Hollywood. Lisa felt like she was dumping her off. She thought that she was dumping her off there so they could handle me, and she didn't have to. Yeah, she didn't want to handle her own child, so she dumps her off at Scientology. Scientology actually helped, Lisa said. It gave her a place to go. Well, a real Christian church would have been a place to go, too. And somewhere that she could be introspective, somewhere to talk about what had happened in some way to deal with it all. Counseling would have helped as well. Lisa took to it quickly, and she liked it. She got the idea that they weren't just our brain. We weren't just our brains. We weren't just our bodies. We weren't just our emotions. We were spirits. I would ask myself, she said, why are we here? Why am I here? What's the point of everything? Which is so funny because Elvis said the same thing, but him being Christian. He did. He said the same thing. She said that it didn't feel like organized religion, and it attracted cool, unusual, autistic people. It became her tribe. She said that her mother kept her in this French school, and she really hated it. But there was a friend there named Katya, and she was the daughter of Vidal Sassoon. And she always loved and was obsessed with Katya because Katya would always get the best things. Like she got everything she wanted. Her mother would buy her anything she wanted. And she would go and tell Priscilla she would want these things. Well, according to Lisa, her mom would get annoyed by it. Lisa says, I remember I wanted to go spend the night at Katya's house. My friends had gotten to stay over, and she had an elevator in her house. Lisa was so excited to go, but Priscilla wouldn't let her. She thought Katya was spoiled and didn't want to be around that. But later on in life, Prissy Pants became friends, real good friends with Vidal and Beverly Sassoon. But sadly, Katya died of a drug overdose when she was only 33. Lisa said that Priscilla was worried about her being spoiled. Lisa says, I don't think I was. I think that I could be absent-minded about things, but I don't think that I was deliberately spoiled. She says that her dad spoiled her, but her mom did the opposite. Lisa said her mom was never a friend, someone that she could talk to. I repeat, her mom was never a friend or someone to talk to for Lisa. Lisa felt like she was Priscilla's trophy. Lisa said Priscilla wanted me to go to finishing school. I felt like she should have gotten a different daughter. It was all about how things looked. The way things appeared seemed more important than feelings. Lisa said her mom would never allow herself to lose control. Everything was all in its place. A narcissistic perfectionist, eh? A narcissistic perfectionist is what Priscilla was. It's all about looks, never about what's really be feel right here. It's all about what you perceive to the public, I guess. It's never what's really felt right here. Lisa said her mom was always gone a lot. She was always at some island or catching some fish out of the ocean somewhere, or she was at some foreign land, or she was with another man on an adventure. So Lisa had started having more nannies and more chefs at the house because Priscilla was never around. Priscilla hired lots of people, and Lisa became close with many of them. She said she felt the safest with her Aunt Michelle and her Uncle Gary. And Michelle, guys, is Priscilla's sister, Michelle. Michelle and Gary, according to Lisa, were the only two that she could really talk to. Lisa said, my mom was away. I could have a friend over, and she said that was her saving grace. But she didn't have an easy time making friends, and she still don't. Lisa was terribly insecure, frightened, scared, you name it. People wouldn't make friends with her, and they'd get competitive. Whose parents were richer or who had the bigger house. That still happens, she says. And the people think that she's a pitch because, unfortunately, Lisa has her mom's chilly disposition thing. I think it's a taught thing. I think it's a generational thing that gets passed down. If you treat that person that way, you will be chilly disposition too. I think it's just generational trauma, you want to call it. That's what I think. Lisa said that she was failing almost every subject in school. She would lock herself in her room and listen to her records, music, always, always, always music. She loved that. She loved music, guys. It helped bring her back to reality. It helped make her feel better. Music did to her what music does to us, folks. She said that twice a year after her father died, she'd dream about her father. In the dreams, they were so real, and Lisa would cry when she'd wake up because it felt like he was with her, and she didn't want it to end. She tried so hard to go back to sleep to be with him again. She said, I don't really believe they were dreams. I believe they were visitations. Lisa said, I know a lot of people would disagree with me and think that's nonsense. You might have these kinds of dreams too, and blow them off and say they're just dreams. She said, that's fine. But I believe that people we love from our past can visit us. And my dad would do that regularly. In the dreams, he and I would be together in my room, on my hamburger bed, and he'd be in the chair. We're close and connected talking. Suddenly, Lisa said she'd get panicked and she'd say, wait, you have to stop this. Daddy, you have to wait. You're going to OD. You're going to have a heart attack. Daddy, you're going to die. It's going to happen. And in the dream, her father would look at her so calmly, and he'd smile and say, darling, it's already happened. And then Lisa would wake up. She said the dream stopped finally in 1992 when she had her son, Ben. Ben gave her that comfort. And that's so sad that Ben had to die, guys. I'm emotional. Today's Ben's birthday. But guys, that's it on chapter 2 of my sharing with you the revelations of Lisa. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I know I did. No, next week it's chapter 3 that I will be telling you her revelations. Just remember, disclaimer, if you guys have any trauma related, anything that happened to you or you were SA'd, you might not want to listen to next week, but y'all welcome who do want to listen. She will be going into the Michael Edward incidences. So if you all are easily traumatized, I would suggest to skip that one. But if y'all want to, I'll see you next week for chapter 3 that we're going to go over her revelations. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. I appreciate this time that you guys have given me with you guys. You could have went to any Elvis channel, but you didn't. You came to mine, and for that, I love each and every one of you for it. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please push the like button and subscribe to this channel. You'll be happy you did. I cover everything that I could possibly think of in the Elvis world and in the Lisa world. So anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. That was a really sad, it was a sad chapter of her revelations, learning how she felt when he died and the trauma and everything that was hitting her when he did. But, you know, as I always say, death isn't easy. Oh, it's easy for the person that dies, but it's not easy for us that have to pick up the pieces. And we have to live with it for the rest of our lives that they're not here anymore with us. And Lisa's mother didn't help her in the grieving process. I truly don't think so at all. Tell me in the comment section below if you think Priscilla helped Lisa in her grieving process, because I don't think she did. There could have been other routes that she could have took. Scientology isn't always it. I think it was the complete opposite of what Elvis wanted for his daughter. That's just my opinion, guys. But I'm going to go, guys. Thank you so much for listening this evening. TCBTLC. God bless you all. And you know what? I'll see you on the other side. Bye, everybody. I'll see you guys later, all right? Be safe out there, okay? Bye now.